Hello and welcome to EV Platform. Today we've got an exciting episode. Obviously, you know exactly what it's all about because we have the thumbnail and the title. But Blake, what's on today's show?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. We are getting Will back on the show again. We had him when we did that piece about the MG5. And Will is based over in China. He's got a fantastic channel over there called China Driven. Feet on the ground. He's been living in China for a few years. Well, Will, great to have you back on. Give us that elevator pitch. Who are you and what do you do on your channel?
Hi, yeah, I'm Will, and I run a channel called China Driven, which is all about Chinese EVs with my friend from England. And we live in China, and we do in-depth reviews and quick look at Chinese EVs and give you all that information, which isn't very easy to find in English.
And you're doing a great job of it. I mean, it's a new enough channel, a bit like ourselves as well, but the production value is fantastic. So well done on that. Loved your video there about the Ora Good Cat, and we're going to come back to that later. But first of all, let's jump into talking about some of the cars that you've picked out for us today. So we'll kick off with something really, really small. What do you have for us in that kind of mini small car segment?
Well, it's this. Well, not exactly this. It's the new variant of this. So this is the Wuling Mini EV. Which is a partnership between SAIC, Wuling, and GM. Now, this was China's best-selling EV last year in 2021. It sold 395,451 units. That is just over 225,000 more than second place, which was the Model Y with only 170,000 units. I mean, obviously, this is much cheaper. 4,000 to about just under 8,000 euros. Yeah. But they're bringing out a two-seat convertible version of this, which I think is going to be the only rear-wheel drive convertible EV on the market since the original Tesla Roadster.
Nice company to be in there.
Lots of, yeah, exactly. Yeah, to be able to be said in the same sentence. So the Mini EV, we've got those coming into Europe. A gentleman in Latvia or Eastern Europe is bringing them in, so we're going to see them rebadged, I believe. So looking forward to hopefully get them on the road and hopefully in right-hand drive. I know they're just left-hand drive, obviously in China. Will.
Another thing about this thing though is it is actually, well, kind of it has 4 seats in it. Whether you'll get 4 fully grown adults in it is another question, but it has got 4 seats and it's only 22 centimeters larger than the current generation Smart 4.2. So it is genuinely a tiny, tiny little car.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good. Next up is a market that potentially might take off in 2022 and be the year of. Give us what you think is going to be the family sedan, the 3-box sedan, and that shape. And we're kind of gone away from it, but we may be coming back to it, Will.
Yeah, so I think that sedans are going to come back in a big way, mostly because of EV packaging, and you just get so much more space inside without needing that engine and transmission tunnel. The one for me, family sedan, last year we'd be talking about the XPeng P5, but this year the one everybody is waiting for is the Nio ET5. We're talking their entry-level sedan at 45,000 euros up to about 54,000 euros. So it's not cheap, it is premium. It's coming on their new platform, the NT 2.0 platform, which means it's getting LiDAR. So we're going to see a push to kind of like city steering using LiDAR and HD mapping. A different route to Tesla's camera-only system. But I mean, 4.3 seconds to 60, ranges from 550 kilometers, 700 kilometers, and over 1,000 once they release the larger 150 pack. You can get into one, though, for 36,000 euros if you choose the battery as a service option, which means you can take full advantage of the battery swapping for free 3 times a month. And so that's a 9.7k euro reduction in the original price, and you'll pay 130 euros a month for that. In fact, if you don't take a home charger, which a lot of people won't do in China because they live in apartments, you can have 6 swaps for free a month.
That's absolutely brilliant. And we're going to come back to that battery swapping in another time, either touch on it in this video or possibly do another video together, because I'm just obsessed with it. I think it's brilliant. And I love the look of that ET5. But let's take a jump in size and premium, but stick with the sedan style. What do you have for us there, Will?
Yeah, so sedan is a big, is a big thing this year, and full-size sedans. There's a couple coming out, all smart and a lot at that higher price point. Again, it's Nio. Everybody in the West is just craving to hear people get their hands on the Nio ET7, which basically is an ET5 but bigger. It's got all the same kind of stuff, but more premium. It's going to come with air suspension as standard. It's got a 23 speaker system that uses that new Dolby Atmos spatial audio as well. But I mean, obviously it costs more. We're talking 62K to 73K. You can get into one with that battery swapping and monthly €130 for 52,000. 3.8 seconds to 100 kilometers as well. So it's no slouch.
Now, Will, I have a lot of money and I want an electric vehicle and I want something big. What are you going to recommend to me?
SUV wise this year it's going to be, everybody wants to know about the XPeng G9, because although we don't have too much information about it, we do know it's coming with XPilot 4.0. The P5 launched with XPilot 3.5, and we know that this year they're going to push city steer to the XPilot 3.5 equipped cars. XPilot 4.0 is what they're calling start to park fully assisted driving. What that means over and above city steering, we don't know quite yet, but it should be very interesting to see. That car as well comes with an 800-volt system. So you're talking about 200 kilometers in 5 minutes, charge-wise. And they, from the outset, although it's based on the same platform as the XPeng P7, their kind of sports sedan, it was designed with a 5-star safety design standard of the EU. So it's definitely coming to Europe. Whether or not it will be right-hand drive, probably have to wait further down the line.
Cross fingers for that now. It'd be great to have a few more options to get people out of these big 3-liter diesel SUVs. But let's move on. Let's stay with bigger vehicles, but talk more about kind of MPV styles. Will, you have something in mind for us?
Yeah, so 2021, halfway through, I was calling 2022 the year of the MPV kind of premium MPV EVs. I might have been a bit wrong because Nio went sedan crazy. I was sure they were going to come out with an MPV. It's an underserved market in China. There's a lot of people that buy high-end MPVs here for chauffeuring around. But we do know that Zeekr is going to release an MPV, the 002. What that looks like, we don't really know, because the Zeekr 001 was based on the kind of family face of Geely's other brand, Lynk & Co., their ICE and PEV brand. So we might see a diversion from that style, and we might see kind of the birth of Zeekr's own kind of fascia and design. We'll really have to wait and see on that one. But going by the Zeekr 001, we should expect competitive price, really good build quality, and really good materials. I mean, Zeekr and even their Lynk & Co., the material quality is really, really high end. Even underneath the boot floor, you'll find really soft carpeting. So it just tells you throughout that vehicle is really well built.
Will, you have given us the major categories, and there's a lot of electric vehicles coming in that part of the world. Something totally out of the left field, what would you be showing us, or where would you be pointing us?
So we've got to talk about Hiphi. The Hiphi Z is going to be Hiphi's new sedan. Now, the Hiphi X, their SUV, was crazy enough. It had those kind of rear suicide doors, and at the same time, these kind of winged, falcon wing doors as well. But the Z is going to come with suicide doors, and it's going to be just as crazy. Styling-wise, it looks like a Transformer. Decepticon, not Autobot. It looks evil.
That's a big distinction there, Will.
Yeah. But I mean, we're talking about screens. This thing has an LCD screen in the middle that can rotate, and you can change the direction of it. Wing mirrors are cameras with a couple of screens inside. And there's even a screen for the instrument panel in the middle of the steering wheel. Whether or not that's a good thing, we'll have to wait and see. What we do know about Hiphi is that their SUV, the X, outsold everything in China, EV-wise, in the category of 70,000 euros and above, outselling the Porsche Taycan and some other big hitters out there. And that's you know, that car goes all the way up to over 110,000 euros. You get 2 seats in the back instead of 4. Big kind of, you know, first class seating, champagne chiller, all of, you know, the goodness that you need if you've got a chauffeur.
Absolutely brilliant. That's one of the reasons we love having you on, Will, because you've got feet on the ground over there. You've got that insight, and you're seeing these kind of figures and these numbers and what's going out. It's fascinating. But you're also the Ora Good Cat. I'm just sorry. I'm getting giddy with excitement on this. I watched your video there, which is brilliant, and I know John isn't on screen with you that much, but he does a great bit of work on it with you. Tell us about the Ora Good Cat.
So the Ora Good Cat, originally they started selling it in Thailand, which is also right-hand drive, and then they announced that they were going to bring it to Britain, and a lot of people were excited because we're talking probably going to be the cheapest EV with a 200-mile range in the market, and I think that it's going to be a home run because it's a hatchback, it's a small hatchback which are loved in the UK. I think it looks fantastic. The GT looks sporty. Kind of gives that kind of feeling that the old Fiat 500 at Baths used to have, that kind of little kind of naughty looked to them. And the other thing, though, that people might not be kind of used to, but they might be pleasantly surprised by, is that because it is a Chinese car, the boot may be smaller than people expect. But what that means is the rear passenger space, the leg room is, I mean, it's humongous.
Yeah, in a car that size. It's brilliant, you know. And so anybody, if you haven't seen Will's video on that, jump over to his channel, check it out. It was excellent. So there we go. Derek, what are you picking? Right, you're getting one of the cars that we talked about today in your driveway. What are you going for?
Have to be practical and go with the Wuling Mini EV. I think I don't need anything much bigger. We've no kids. And I'm based in an urban environment. And I think if we had more of these on the road with EVs with cheaper price points to get the mass market, mass adoption of electric vehicles, that's the one I go for. So I'm not going to be greedy. I won't go for 2. I'll just go for the 1.
Who are you calling greedy? Me, because I do want 2 of them. Yeah, I want to. Like, we're a 1-car family. We like to try and keep it that way, but I can make an exception because when I get rid of my Leaf, I want that ET7 on the driveway. I think it looks fantastic. The tech that's inside it is brilliant. You know, good range and the idea of battery swapping as well. I'm just obsessed with that. But also, the second little car, you're popping down to the shop, so you've only got a short run to go and see a friend. I want that Wuling. I think it's brilliant. And this is a guy who ran a Toyota IQ for a few years. I like my really small cars, and I'd like the Wuling. But Will, you're on the ground over there. You've seen a lot of these cars in the flesh, and you're hearing about them. What would you go for? What's in your driveway?
Well, it's actually a real conundrum for me right now because I'm looking, you know, this year to maybe buying a new car, and it's, you know, with constant things coming out and, you know, the next best thing around the corner, it's always, do I wait? Do I buy? But for me, I think I'm going to end up with a Nio ET7. But I need to get behind the wheel of one because I haven't seen it in the metal yet. Hopefully after Chinese New Year, test drives are going to be available. Because if I'm going to drop 60k on a car, I need to at least first drive it. But yeah, I think it's, you know, especially with that battery swapping, the ability to flex up to larger battery sizes. So later you'll be able to flex up your monthly to get, you know, 150 kilowatt, 1,000 kilometer range, just that 1 month when you want to go somewhere and you don't want to charge so much if you're going on a trip or something. I think that is what sets Nio aside. Plus, there's a battery swap station about 2 minutes from my house.
Wow.
Nice. Thank you, Will, for your time. Thank you for everybody who's watched this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to China Driven on YouTube. We'll put a link in the description. Make sure you like the videos and share them around. Also with EV Platform here that you've subscribed to our channel, like this video, leave a comment and let us know where you are. This has been EV Platform.
Thank you very much for watching.
See you later.